Maruti numbers are out. We will be flashing them on your screen any minute right now. I'm just told by my producer that the numbers are out for Maruti's Q1. I was just running by the preview of the company. According to the agencies, we are looking at a profit figure of 1980 crore rupees. So clearly, if that number is to go by, it is a bit of a miss on the profitability front. 1980 crores, 1980 is the number that I'm told as far as the agencies are concerned. We're awaiting some more clarity. But looking at the volume growth trend of the company, it's been very strong. I mean, if you look at on sequential basis, in Q4 it was at 11%. Q1 has been 24%. So on back of that, we were expecting a profit growth of almost 45 or 47% rather. But if 1980 crore is what the company has managed to clock in, it is a bit of a miss on the bottom line front. Let's see what the other numbers are. Well, 2,459 crores is the number that we have on the top line, which falls exactly in line with what the ET Now poll has suggested. So no surprise on that front. Revenues have grown by almost 28%. So good growth as far as the top line is concerned. So we have the profit figure, we have the revenue figure. We're waiting for some more headline numbers. In the meantime, we're also trying to connect with some analysts to get a better sense of why the profitability this time around could have been a miss for Maruti in the quarter gone by. We have Bharat Jinani. Let's go across to him. Bharat, hi, it's Karunya here. Thanks much for coming on board. Bharat, we're looking at a profit figure of 1975 crore, which at least by ET Now poll is a miss on the bottom line performance. However, revenues are in line. What is your initial reactions to these headline numbers?
Yeah, good afternoon to the viewers. Actually, the numbers, if you see on the operating front, they are pretty much in line with what the street was expecting. So the net profit miss is solely on account of other income. So other income figure at about 272 crore is lower than what the street was expecting. So because of that, you're seeing a miss on the profitability side. But if you see purely the operating performance, it's in line with what the street was expecting.
Hi Bharat, this is Nayantara joining in from the New Delhi studio. You have seen the stock getting punished primarily, I'm guessing, for the bottom line figure because all the other parameters seem to be in line. I'm waiting for the detailed press release, so I don't have that kind of information. But would this be a case of maybe the street being over optimistic from Maruti and because, at the end of the day, a profit of 1,975 crores is not a small feat.
Yeah, probably street was expecting some kind of margins, better margins than what actually a tad bit better than what the company has reported. But the key points I want to highlight is that the commodity costs have been really going up. Another thing that the street is not factoring probably is the yen has also started to appreciate against the rupee quite a lot if you see in the last 3 to 4 months. So that will definitely have a bearing on the profitability of the company. So that is getting slightly reflected in the numbers.
Okay, let's also invite Mayuresh as well as Ashwin Patil joining us for the first cut analysis of Maruti. Mayuresh, let me come to you first. We're seeing the stock getting punished. I'm guessing it's because of the profit after tax being below the other parameters are in line. What's your first cut analysis and what do you think went wrong? Is it a case of maybe the street being too over-optimistic?
First cut numbers specifically on the top line more or less in line with estimates. What has probably happened in terms of the margins getting compressed and as Bharat was rightfully mentioning, I think the input cost inflation and commodity costs would have probably eaten into their margins. And again the offsetting effect in terms of the price hikes that Maruti had taken, maybe that might not have completely offset the input cost inflation along with the currency movement that you're probably seeing, specifically in terms of the translationary effect from the yen to the rupee. On the bottom line, I think, have not opened the press release, but a bottom line miss is something that the street is not too pleased. But one needs to find out the reasons. I think, is there any one-offs in this or anything else?
I'll just come to you. We have seen that margins have clearly eaten into their profits this time. Commodity price has clearly eaten into their margins performance this time around. But even the company has said that they've tried several cost management strategies. They've also lowered their advertising and promotion expenses. But that has been offset because with that impact we're not seeing too much because of the rise in commodity prices. Now that has been a pain point for most of the OEMs. What is the outlook ahead? Because going by what, for instance, Hero said yesterday, they are likely to see margin pressure for a couple of more quarters. Do you think for Maruti also this is going to weigh in on the margins performance? Because last quarter also we saw commodity price hike impact on that front. Ashwin, I'm wanting to know whether you see commodity price impact on Maruti's financials in the coming quarters as well.
Okay, hi. See, of course, there will be an impact because the RM prices, which have been rising since last couple of quarters, the full effect of that almost has been seen in this quarter, and that has actually impacted the overall margin performance. Let it be Hero or Bajaj or Maruti, all the three OEMs which have come out with the results for this quarter till now, all have faced this issue, and the commentary from Hero as well as Bajaj have been the same, that coming quarters will be seeing some pressure on the margins because of RM prices moving up, and definitely for Maruti as well, a similar fate will be witnessed in coming quarters as well. Though in this quarter, I would say, to analyze the Q1 numbers, I would definitely say that the RM prices have outweighed the price hikes that the company has taken in this quarter. And secondly, the yen appreciation has also led to weaker than expected EBITDA margins. And below that, I think, yes, I mean, I'm yet to go through the press release, but definitely there's something like other income or taxation that may have led to this kind of lesser than expected tax.
They've stated in their press release very clearly about the way forward. They've highlighted a couple of points. They say that they have a very strong product portfolio, but having said that, they've also outlined some headwinds for the company like higher interest rates, high fuel prices, adverse foreign exchange and high commodity prices is also on their list. So what is the kind of indication that they're trying to give to the market? Is it that one should not expect a very strong improvement in the coming quarters as far as the margins go?
No, actually, definitely yen has been a bit of a concern for Maruti because, and also if you see in this quarter, the company has refrained from taking any price hike, which we were expecting, like the company being a market leader, having a strong hold on the market, is always a front runner in taking the price hikes. And this is primarily the case whenever the yen appreciates. Maruti is definitely takes the price hike, which they did not do this time around, and we were expecting some pressure on the margins because of that on that front. So that has eventually played out in this quarter.
Ashwin, thanks so much for decoding the Maruti results for us. Clearly, Maruti now in the slow lane, decelerating, giving up its gains since the announcement of the numbers. Let's wait for some more details to figure out what exactly is it that went down. Look at that, the stock is being punished, down 300 rupees a share price at the moment. Another stock currently that started selling off is Colgate. The profit after tax coming in at 189.5 crore rupees. Revenues at 1,033 crores, which is pretty much in line with what we said. But as you can see, a sharp reaction even when it comes to the Colgate stock. So these are the two counters in focus. We are still on standby for Bharti Airtel. It might be declaring a loss later today. We're also on standby for ITC. Mayuresh, we're running out of time, so I want to come to you for final comments on the markets at large. It's a super duper Thursday, record breaking rally. Yes, now you're seeing a stock like Maruti being punished, but if you see the chart at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be pretty good 2 hours.
The case, Nayantara, yes. But I think a large part of this rally has been driven by a few large cap stocks. Mid caps and small caps have felt the brunt and the carnage, and a lot of portfolios are still reeling under losses. So again, a large element of the perception in terms of earnings momentum and earnings growth over the next few quarters. I think if the earnings growth is to revive over the next few quarters, anywhere between 13-14%, you might see the kind of premium valuations that the markets are getting on a forward basis to be justified. On the other hand, you're probably looking at a weak private capex cycle still playing out. Macro still not very conducive, though expected to taper off both in terms of CPI inflation and the expected moments probably to come through in terms of oil coming down and rupee not depreciating too significantly, creating that buffer room that one really needs on the fiscal and the current side, and obviously the global events. What probably turns out with the trade wars and the associated risks with that in terms of emerging market currencies being devalued, affecting our exports, and the kind of imbalance that we probably might witness is something to be watched out for. So again, a stock-specific approach. I think a few of the good quality names, whether large caps or mid caps, where earnings momentum is strong and where valuations are not too expensive on their median averages or even their long-term basis, is something that long-term investors can definitely look for.
Thanks, Mayuresh, for joining us with that. So the last leg of today's trading session, at least the setup is pretty good. Let's see the markets close at record highs as well. Karan and I are going to sign off and thank all of you for watching Markets at Lunch. We leave you with Maruti being the top Nifty loser after that performance in the quarterly results that's out. Market Fatapat team is going to take it all forward.